Have you ever lost a loved one? Well, I am here to tell you that you should be checking on the mental health of your friends and loved ones before it is too late. In this speech, I will be telling you how the effects of depression can negatively affect you and others and why you should be doing everything to make sure that the worst outcome is not a possibility. The point of this speech is to hopefully persuade you to put more thought into those around you so that everyone can have a better, more fulfilling life. This subject is very important to me as I have had friends that have been close to suicide and my parents have dealt with suicide in their lives. Throughout this speech, I will go over 3 main points: the cause of depression, what signs you may be able to decipher in depressed people, and why you should work to make sure that those around you are not depressed and help them if they are. First of all, according to the Performance Aware Depression Detection Survey and World Health Association, within it, depression is the most common health problem in the world, with more than 350 million people suffering from it. So, what do you think are the most common causes of depression? There is more than likely some reason or another that people are feeling this way, and although every situation is different, some are more common than others. Page 132 of Emily Durbin's course book, Depression 101, states that the idea of depression being from one single cause has been forgotten, as people with many different instances of events causing similar depression diagnoses. Depression can be caused by numerous amounts of things depending on your experiences and or traumas in life. Psychology Today claims that one of the most common causes of depression, especially in adults, is loneliness. Along with that, common causes can be anything from bullying to traumatic events to events sometimes just being hereditary. This is one of the reasons that this illness is getting so bad, is because of how common events can cause it and how easily it is to be diagnosed with depression. When many people think of depression, they think it is simply people being sad and that they need to get over it. However, for those who have it and maybe are medically diagnosed with it, it is just not that simple. Being diagnosed and having depression is not something that just goes away, or you can just get rid of it at a moment's notice. It can take months and maybe years to get through depression, and you may have to be taken as far as therapy and medication like antidepressants. Even though things like this may sound difficult, it is better than the alternative. Now that we know why people get depression and how serious it is time for you to figure out what some signs of depression may be in order for you to be able to possibly see them in those around you. Taken from a preliminary study on the signs of depression relapse using audiovisual cues, people may have a relapse in a sudden depressive episode after having a non-depressive episode. This could be a sign to look for when thinking someone might have depression, although it will not always be the case. You could be looking for anything from sudden changes in mood to slowly distancing themselves from people and activities. After hearing that, you might be thinking, "Oh, it is so easy to spot signs of depression." But it is a lot harder than you might think. Some people could have depression and show absolutely no signs of the sort. They might seem like they're always happy and may make you think that there is no way someone like that could be depressed. While in some cases that is true, sometimes people put on a show to hide the fact that they are depressed, and that is the worst thing someone could do. It is quite hard to look for signs of depression if they purposely try to hide it from people. As stated in the Mindfulness and Acceptance Workbook for Depression, depression can damage relationships with people close to them, along with people at work and school, and could also lead to substance abuse. These could be signs of depression if you know what you're looking for. Other signs may include things such as a sudden loss or gain of weight or change in behavior after a traumatic event has occurred in their life, such as the death of a loved one or unexpected disaster. In the case of a traumatic event, it can sometimes cause post-traumatic stress disorder or PTSD. According to a clinical questionnaire on PTSD, PTSD is a psychological condition that affects somebody's daily life and has the possibility of causing depression. As there are many different causes for depression and a few noticeable signs for you to look for, it can be difficult to actually find out if someone has depression without talking to them about it. That's why that is exactly what you should do. Now, on to the main point of this speech. Why should you start making sure that those around you are okay and not have this terrible illness? Well, I think it is pretty self-explanatory. According to a report on the cost-effective models for detecting depression, that only about half of all people that suffer from depression actually receive treatment. As a result of all these undocumented cases, around 800,000 suicides are due to the effect of depression every year. This should be the number one reason that people should start looking after the well-being of those around them to prevent things like this from happening. This number will only rise in the coming years, and that is because I feel that no one is taking this seriously, and I think that no one really thinks that this will happen to them until it does. My parents have had friends that have killed themselves because of unseen signs of depression, and I have had friends that have come close to doing a similar outcome. Look at someone close to you and imagine what it would be like if they all of a sudden were no longer with you. You never know what they are going through, and the best thing you can do is talk to them. No matter what their situation is, whether they are having a wonderful day or in a slump. Try everything you can to make sure that the person in the right state of mind and generally feeling the best they can be. However, if they do have depression and you don't know about it, one of the best things they can do to find help with thoughts of suicide is from a suicide prevention hotline states, "You are not alone," article by Kelly Hall. There is not a worse feeling than suddenly losing someone you love and coming to realize that they have been hurting for some time and you never knew about it. Checking on someone will only have the potential to save the life of one person, but save the heartbreak of many more. If you are willing to do your best to keep your loved ones around you, then maybe you can convince other people to do the same. If this occurs, then maybe more people diagnosed with depression will get help to deal with this illness and prevent the suicide rate of people with depression from rising. We all have the power to talk to someone about how they are doing, and sometimes that's all it takes to sway someone's opinion on life. After taking the time to tell you why you should be a part of the reason that your loved ones choose to live another day, I hope that I have swayed your opinion on just how important this problem is becoming and what you can do to prevent it from getting worse. I have explained what depression is and what some of the signs are, and I hope that you can make the choice to pass it on to others and keep those around you in check. The statistics I've presented will only get worse unless something is to be done, and I hope that starts with you.